Life lessons with Mo. Hello, guys, you're welcome to another awesome and exciting moment on Lessons with my dad. So, today we're talking about the mind. I know most of you have heard about the mind, or you might have studied about it, you might have certain information about it, but today we'll be getting a new dimension on our study titled The Mind. So, Daddy, what is the mind?
Well, the mind is part of the component of the body. The body, as we are made, is divided into three: the spirit, and the mind, they call it the soul, and the body. The spirit, you can use this paper, for example. This circle inside can stand as the spirit. The spirit is the one that's born again. When God created man, the Bible says he breathed to them the breath of God, the spirit of God. So when the man says he's born again, it's the spirit of the man that born again. A man can be born again and still have problem with his soul or the mind. So the next component is the soul. We call the mind now. And in the mind, there are three components there: intellect, will, and um, emotion. Will is that a man say, I will not eat that food, and he will not eat it. The man say, I will do this, and he will do it. It's the willpower, it's in the mind. He's born again, though. He say, I will not go to that church, he will not go, because he has the will. The other one is emotion, affection. We use the mind to love. So love is a lesson to be learned. Now, the third part is intellect. That's what we use to study. A man can be intellectual, great, and is not born again. Or it's the man that he has sharpened. He has sharpened the man. A man can be born again and will be a dull fellow. It ought not to be so. Or unless he understands this thing we're talking about now, he will not be able to make it. Now, Jesus says something. The body is willing, the spirit is willing, but is weak. Meaning that this mind of that man cooperate with the body and so make the spirit ineffective or the spirit to be weak. So that is what is happening to people. And generally, when a man is born again, it ought to help him to get his mind in the right condition. One, the will, your will is subject to God's will now, so that you don't have problem with the way God can speak to you. You know what to do at what time. If you want to do it and God say no, somebody offend you, forgive, because the mind now is subject to the spirit of God. The affection, you can lust, you can do all those things, but the moment you give your life to Christ, that part too is subject to the spirit of God. Then you talk about the intellect. It ought to be sharpened, new, and used effectively. If you have taken time to study very well, most of those people that discover a lot of field, the something brothers and the rest of them, it's either them or their parents were Christian. A mind of a believer is supposed to be sharpened because the spirit of God takes over now. And personally, I don't believe from my experience that a Christian should be dull. You know, the Nigerian language is a dollar. You know, they're not like our English anyway. It shouldn't be so, because the spirit of God will help the mind. Maybe in the second episode we'll be able to explain better. But it's not like that. Why? Because the man do not even understand this circle. So this is the thing that is working in the mind of a man. And the mind of a man responsible for what he becomes or what he doesn't become. Because Jesus said, the Bible said in Proverbs chapter 4:23, as a man thinketh, you don't use your spirit to think, you use your mind to think. Good. He said, guide your spirit. That version says, guide your mind with all the game, because it's out of it come issues of life. He used it to think. That thing in the Old Testament is not. The Old Testament do talk about mind, unlike the New Testament. So that is it. So the mind seems to hold the key to our life.
Okay, Dad, you said the mind holds the key to our life. So now, how does this mind affect us? Like, in what way can our mind have impact on our lifestyle?
In a big way. Maybe we just when we get to the second episode, we'll be able to talk more about it. But a man's mind control his entire life unless that man is subject to Christ. If he's not subject to Christ, he cannot. Many people will not be progress. For example, when you are coming up in life, your parents told you, maybe because they don't understand to bring up children, and they say, "Oh, among my children, you are the most stupid fellow, you are most so so so." If you are not careful, you will behave that way. Or you are in the class and say, this one, you won't make it. Those things settled in the mind of people, and it helped them to wake up or to discourage. A great man of God in Nigeria told us his story that when he was in secondary school, he used to take the last position in the class. And one day the teacher told him and said, "You, you are going to be useless on this set unless you wake up." He said at a particular time, I think it's those days we used from one from two, when he was going from three, he refused to go on long back. He stayed in school, he collected all the exercise book and began to write. A1, 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 all the subjects. At the end of the day, he got A1. I was able to make it. He changed his mind, he renewed his life, and became a great man. And so, the mind holds the key to everything we
Okay, thank you very much, Daddy. Now we have so much to discuss. We'll discuss that in our next episode. I want to thank you all for subscribing.